Yo, what's going on, guys? It's someone that's no one here today, and today we're back for part 2 of ditching our school field trip. So it should be going. Now, if you like the video, like the video. If you aren't subscribed already, subscribe. And if you guys want kind of like future updates for future videos and stuff like that, follow me on Twitter. I'll post there about, what's coming up for the channel and shit like that. And you can get some good info for what's coming out and kind of when. So, anyways, let's jump right into this. So, I met up with this Gabby chick and we hit it off pretty well and it was going. Now, we were talking for a little and lunch was just about to end. So, she came up with this suggestion that we should ditch class. Basically, she just kind of wanted to get to know me, some of the homies more and shit like that. But I was kind of iffy on it, I wasn't really, down to get into fucking trouble and shit. So I was kind of like, how about I just head up to your next class, tell the teacher, I'm on a field trip, and thankfully that shit works. But the problem is, I have a little room to actually talk to her in this class. It was another English class, and that shit was dragging. So I see why she wanted to ditch the class. But I was able to text Drew and find out what the plan was. I told him, we're gonna ditch, and he told the rest of the squad. Half of the squad was on board. Malcolm and Lahiru were down to come with, and I think John would have if it wasn't for Alan, and of course Marcel, he's a good kid himself. Gabby decided, we should go to Starbucks. It was just a block away, which sounded good to me, but beforehand I told her, I had to find Drew first, and then, we would meet up there. She said that she was fine with that, and after class I left and went to go get Drew. Malcolm and Lahiru would already head straight there, and another stupid thing that was decided, I didn't know the school, so I should have just, had Gabby just guide me around to find Drew, but I wasn't really thinking straight. So I was basically just left alone to find Drew in a school I didn't even go to. And I stood out even more because I didn't fit the demographic, and I was just walking through the halls trying to text Drew, dodging these people, and he said meet him on the first floor. So I look around, I find some stairs, go down, and this is the most retarded thing ever. So the stairs I found were stairs that led straight to the guy's locker room. So I felt like this steam and stuff, but I just kept going because I didn't really think much, about it, but Drew, he might have been down there. Who knows? It might be the first floor type shit. But I eventually, find out, it's a locker room. There's a bunch of dudes dressing, coming straight out the shower type shit. And I didn't even see anything, but they had like towels wrapped around and shit. But I opened the door, saw them, they looked at me, and I just fucking left right away and went back up. And I went around, found some other stairs, and all the while, getting around people and make it to the first floor finally. I remember just looking around, kind of looking like an idiot because I had no idea where I was headed. Anyways, I finally find the guy standing by this vending machine just cooling. And he's like, finally. And I'm like, I know. And I was looking all over the place. I just don't know the school. And he's like, you're good. Let's just get out of here. And let's meet up with that girl, Gabby. And I was like, yeah, let's do that as we made our way to the exit. Just don't fall in love or some bullshit. She lives like an hour away from us, bro, Drew was telling me. Plus, you could probably have a better relationship with Marissa back home. And this was before I even considered having this Marissa girl who's a totally different person. And I kind of got, all red and shit from that. But I was like, chill. I know what I'm doing, dude. And he was like, he just kept going. And he's like, unless you want to be Tyson, but that's on you. And I'm like, no. Let's just find the entrance, get out of here, changing the subject, and we can make it back to the last period, and we can make up some bullshit like how the teachers just forgot to take our attendance or some bullshit. And Drew, he was like, that shit ain't gonna fly with Miss Ann. And we both knew, like, we were just getting into some trouble. Like, honestly, we didn't give a crap though. And anyways, we end up finding the entrance, or exit rather, and I remember walking out the door, and right there stood a security guard, right when we opened the fucking door. It was like this mixed lady just cooling, and she was like, do you guys have a pass to leave the building? And I'm like, no, just looking all stupid. And she was like, then you got to go back to class. And Drew just smacked his lip. And, that's some major bullshit. I did not even feel like explaining shit to this lady. Plus, that just might have got us into more trouble if she found out, we were here on a field trip, not actual students there. But I made up a lie trying to be slick and shit. I'm like, oh, I'm 18 though, I can just leave. I'm an adult and shit. And she's like, you got your IDs with you? And of course, we didn't have shit on us. And we just say, no, making us look even dumber and shit. But she just like, go back to class. And we basically had no choice. We didn't want to get into trouble and shit. So we went back inside. And Drew, he's like, man, that bitch, we could have just left right then and there. So I let Drew rant a little before just suggesting we leave out another door. And that's exactly what we ended up doing, and it worked just fine. And Malcolm was texting me, asking, where you guys at? Because at this point, we were kind of late as a bastard. I think we were like 10, 15 minutes late or some shit. But we speed walk over to the place, and we get to Starbucks, and we find them waiting inside. We go inside, order some drinks. Lahiru, he's stacking with the pastries. And right away, Gabby, she's like, you guys got some interesting friends here. And basically at this point, I kind of introduced each one at the table. And it was, for the most part, a good time. But eventually, Malcolm, Lahiru, and Drew trailed off into their kind of own conversation. And Gabby and I kind of into our little conversation. And at the time, I felt like she did, begin to even like me, even we just met like 2 hours before. And I'll admit, at the time, I felt like, I kind of liked her back and shit. But in my head, I knew, it's something, you can't get invested to because of the inconveniences. But we all stay having about an hour-long conversation and whatnot, and things are normal. Even Lahiru's normal, this girl's hot as hell. She wasn't stuck up as I imagined her to be. And she was just cool overall. And Malcolm and Drew managed not to talk, too ghetto. Like, Drew used to, but, like, Malcolm still does. But looking at it, Drew changed up a lot. So, I mean, shit. Considering, where we grew up and shit. But Malcolm, he kind of talks, like, all ghetto, like, way more. So, and it's not intentional. It's new, natural shit for him. But we just grew up around, like, that shit, it's just the culture and shit, I guess. But anyways, back to the story. After an hour, Malcolm brings up a suggestion, nothing none of us were intending. So Malcolm brings up, yo, I got this cousin I've been texting, Malik. He lives only like 15 minutes from here, and I was thinking we should go see this dude. So news for all of us, and we had a little over 3 hours left before we had to get back on the bus. Yeah, he has a pool, and he's going to cook out a little. He even said he can give us a ride back. And Malcolm, he was just talking about all this shit, his cousin had. And sure, for sure, sounded like a fantastic time. And I was unsure about it, though. Like, it's one thing to ditch, but to ditch entirely, like there was no way at that point we would be able to cover it all unless we made up some stupid claim, like we were kidnapped or something. But no way that shit was flying. So we all discussed, about going to Malcolm's cousins. And apparently Gabby actually knew Malcolm's cousin, Malik, which was a huge coincidence, and she was definitely down to go. Drew and I had our worries about it, of course, because we would be in hell with our teacher, Mr. Eaton. And Malcolm, he was also a little worried about it as well, even though he was the one that brought it up. But what was the decider for us was Lahiru. Lahiru is the man, I'm telling you. So Lahiru, he's great with technology, and he's kind of like into hacking and all that. So he knows this shit. And Lahiru basically suggested that, he can go into the school's database, list us as absent as we never went to begin with. And no doubt Miss Ann would know, we were there. She knows we stand out, definitely. But she would have no proof, since all the attendance is electronic. So, yeah, I mean, Miss Ann, we even talked to her personally, but, at the time, we just wanted to go chill, hang, especially since, I was just with Gabby, I just met her and shit, it would be a good time. It was a Friday, too, on top of that, and we would be free, really, and none of us had anything planned for the day, so we said, screw it. Lahiru's hacking definitely came through. So Gabby had to go back to school, to get the rest of her things from her locker, and I made a stupid, risky choice. Oh, jeez, man, I don't know why I did this, but I never should have. So I decided that I would go back to school with her and help her get her stuff, quote unquote, help her. But no, it was nice and stuff to do, but fuck, if I got caught, that shit, it would be over. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I go back with Gabby. She gets one of her friends to open the door for us. We get in no problem, and it's passing period, so things seem to be going perfect. We go to her locker, and things are smooth until some guy shows up. It was some white guy with some brown spiky hair. He was bigger than me in the way Tyson is, just kind of like in muscle mass, I guess, and stood roughly the same height as me. And the guy was like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And I'm like, do I know you? I was asking him all confused, and Gabby turned from her locker, and I believe she knew who it was because she came out, she was like, "Get out of here, Scott," and just annoyed the minute she saw him. And the dude's like, the Scott guy, he's like, what? I can't say hi? And she's like, "No, you and I are over." And Scott starts to get all hostile and shit, and he's like, "I can't believe you already got a new boyfriend. I knew you were a whore," and all this bullshit. All this bullshit going on, basically. And in the corner of my eye, like a hawk, I saw two guys wearing a uniform coming down the hallway. Police uniforms. I got the idea that they were looking for us, the missing students on the field trip. I just had this fucking fear implanted in my mind right away when I saw these police. So at the time, I immediately put this Scott guy at the bottom of my list of my priorities. And I'm like, we gotta go now. Just insanely worried right away after seeing these cops. And he's like, this Scott, he's like, "What, you a little bitch and gotta run?" Just talking shit, But the words just kind of went in one ear out the other for me. Gabby's like, "What's wrong?" And she shuts her locker just in time. I grab her hand. "The cops are here. We gotta go now." And I started to walk away quickly, but before being stopped and turned around by Scott. And he's like, "I'm not done with you." And I'm like, "Not now, asshole. I gotta get the fuck out of here." I was, all antsy and shit. But if the cops were to, get a hold of me, the whole fucking day that we had just planned, I was so excited for, it would have just been fucked. So I think I'm going to end it there. Yeah, good amount of things happened, I suppose. Yeah. Now we're about to get into a little brawl, and fucking cops are on the way. So I think that's a good point to end there. So if you like I said, if you guys are enjoying it, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, if you guys have any requests too, just leave it in the comments below. I'll get to it. All right. So I love you guys. It's been someone that's no one, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.